Okay, let's dive into something really powerful today. We're looking at a story from a source you shared, and it's quite a narrative.
It really is. It's about these twin sisters facing, well, a storm of injustice is a good way to put it.
Exactly. And not just surviving it, but actually, ending it. The source talks about them transferring to this new school and what happened when they finally stood their ground.
When they decided they had to fight back.
Right. So our mission here is to unpack this, look at the key moments, the people involved, and sort of pull out the lessons, right? You brought us the source, so let's dig in together.
Sounds good. It's a story that grabs you from the start, really highlights the reality of prejudice and the kind of strength needed to face it.
Yeah, the source lays out this path, doesn't it? From these subtle things to just outright hostility, it's very clear.
And it gives real insight into the choices people made.
Absolutely. And the setting itself, Rosewood Hills Academy.
Wow.
The source paints it as very elite, very wealthy, polished surfaces everywhere.
But you immediately get that sense, like beneath the shine.
Right.
Something's off. Judgment, exclusion.
That feeling of a facade, yeah. It comes through strongly. So the twins, Jada and Janelle Rivers, they arrive, new students.
And right away, the source says they feel this cold attention. Not just because they're new, or twins even.
No, the source is explicit. It was because they were black. It says that made them stand out more than anything else there.
Which is, yeah, a harsh reality laid bare.
And it mentions their father, Derek Rivers. Sounds like he saw this coming, in a way.
Yeah, the source says he prepared them,
Yeah.
taught them strength, pride, how to defend themselves.
And crucially, not just with words, but with skill and control. Like he was arming them for what might happen.
Exactly. Equipping them with actual skills, not just, hope. And those first interactions, they kind of prove him right.
Stares, whispers, students blocking their path. That feeling of being judged already. The source depicts it really vividly.
It sets the stage quickly. You know the environment they've walked into.
And it didn't stay subtle, did it? The source talks about how the bullying ramped up.
No, it didn't. This is where Ryan Mallory and his friends, Zach and Brent, come in.
Ah, yes. The source describes them with that casual swagger, like they own the place.
Sort of embodying that hidden toxic culture the school seemed to allow.
And they go right at the twins. The verbal stuff starts, almost immediately? Ryan's taunts, twins, matching sets.
Yeah, but it gets ugly fast. Racist insults. Things like servants' entrance, because they don't understand English, even jungle talk. Just awful stuff.
And the source makes a point about the crowd, the other students, laughing, just letting it happen.
That complicity, yeah. The source details how it goes from verbal to physical.
Bumping into them, knocking books over, but with these fake apologies.
And those snide comments, just loud enough. Didn't know they were letting the janitors take classes now, or maybe they're just here for practice. It's relentless.
And what does the source say about the school's reaction, or maybe lack of reaction?
That's a critical piece. No teachers step in. No students speak up. They just look away, pretend not to see.
The source actually says this silence made it harder. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you the institution, by not acting, basically allowed it. That bystander silence, it's not neutral, is it? It isolates the victims, empowers the bullies.
Which brings us back to Derek, their father. And this is a key moment for the twins.
Right. The source shows he knew something was wrong even before they told him. He saw it at home.
Yeah, the tightness in their jaws, the heaviness in their eyes. He could read the signs.
And when they do talk, he listens. But he also reminds them of his lessons. Control is power. They want to get under your skin. Don't let them.
It's about that internal strength, not giving the bullies what they want.
Exactly. But the twins, they realize this isn't stopping it. Jada says they're pushing harder every day.
And Janelle asks that crucial question. And if they don't stop...
And Derek's answer, according to the source, it's unwavering. Then they'll find out you're not the ones who break. It's almost like a prediction.
Wow. So that's the moment they decide.
That's the moment. The source makes it clear. They draw a line. If it's crossed again, they're prepared to fight. Not aggression for aggression's sake, but self-defense.
And, the line gets crossed. Big time. That locker prank. The source describes it as just deeply humiliating.
Oh, absolutely. It's calculated public shaming. The source paints this awful picture. Lockers covered in hateful words, dripping red paint.
And those drawings. Ugly, cartoonish faces with exaggerated features.
Yeah.
And papers with insults stuffed through the vents.
And it's done right out in the open. For everyone. Students stopping, pointing, taking pictures, laughing.
While Ryan watches, grinning, his friends looking pleased, it was a performance.
Totally. Designed to inflict maximum shame. And Ryan's words just twist the knife.
Figured we'd give you some decorations, help you feel more at home, and then getting close, sneering, takes a lot of effort to make you two feel like you belong.
You can just feel the pressure building as the source describes the twins trying to keep it together. The weight of it all.
But this act, this public desecration, it was the final straw, wasn't it?
It went beyond harassment. It was an attack on their very identity in that space. The ultimate provocation as the source presents it.
So while they're cleaning it up, Jada just says it quietly. No more.
And Janelle agrees instantly. No more. That's it. The decision is locked in. Next time, they fight.
And the source really builds the tension toward that next encounter, the courtyard scene.
Yeah, the atmosphere is heavy. Everyone's watching, waiting. You know something's coming. Ryan walks up, still arrogant.
But the dynamic has shifted. The twins aren't just taking it anymore. Jada's retort is sharp.
Then you're even more pathetic than I thought.
Oof. And Janelle follows up, dismantling his whole posture. We do belong here. More than you ever will. Without your little gang, you're just another coward. The source says the crowd could feel the change.
Ryan's smirk vanishes. Now it's rage. He challenges them.
And Jada just calmly hits back. You just don't like the truth when it's said to your face. Then Janelle, we don't think. We know. They've taken control of the narrative.
And that's when Ryan snaps. He shoves Jada.
Then Brent knocks Janelle's books, and Zach shoves her, mocking, what now? You gonna run to daddy?
And the source states it plainly. That was the line crossed.
And their response, it's exactly what their father trained them for. We're done running.
Yeah, and the description of the fight is key. It's not wild flailing. It's controlled. Precise.
Jada's palm strike, Janelle sweeping the legs, strikes, sidesteps, disarming Zach when he grabs something to use as a weapon.
The source emphasizes it.
What?
Precision shaped not by wild anger, but by years of hard, patient training. What does that tell you about their mindset?
It shows it wasn't just reacting, it was applying skill under pressure. They weren't just victims lashing out, they were actively defending strategically, taking control. The source calls them the reckoning.
And the aftermath. The adults finally show up, but only after it's over.
Teachers, assistant principal, carpenter, looking confused, but the source says also like they sort of knew this was bound to happen.
And Ryan immediately lies. They attacked us. They just went crazy.
But the crowd's uneasy now. Jada, though, she's calm, clear. They've been targeting us since we arrived. Today they pushed it too far. We defended ourselves. Nothing more. Just the facts.
But Headmaster Harrington's first move, suspend the twins, pending review. It's almost a default setting, isn't it? Control the situation, deal with facts later.
Then Derek arrives, composed, checks on his daughters first.
And tells Harrington straight up, my daughters were defending themselves. That much is clear, but I expected as much from this place. Calling out the school's failure right then and there.
Then the Mallorys arrive, and the source portrays them as intense, aggressive, entitled.
Oh yeah. Sandra Mallory demands expulsion, arrest, calling the twins violent girls, animals, dehumanizing language right off the bat.
Greg Mallory, too. Your girls are animals just like you.
But Derek doesn't bite. He stays calm, states the truth again. Your son attacked my daughters. They defended themselves.
And he turns Greg's insult around, pointing out the real issue. You've already made up your mind about who we are. You raised a bully, and today he found out what happens when bullies cross the wrong line. Powerful stuff.
Sandra gets the last word for that scene, a threat. This isn't over, and Derek just mirrors it. No. It's not. You know it's going beyond the school.
And the source follows through on that. The fight literally comes to their home.
Yeah, they knew it would happen. Derek's calm readiness is highlighted again.
The Mallorys arrive, described as loud, angry, with this rhythm of entitlement and rage.
Sandra immediately starts, you think you can get away with this? Greg piles on with the animals insult again.
But Derek's response on his own porch, it's amazing. It parallels his daughter's actions. Greg throws a wild punch.
Derek just catches his wrist, uses Greg's own momentum. Greg charges again. Derek handles him. Then Sandra starts clawing at him.
And Derek incapacitates them both, but the source stresses with careful, practiced control, not rage.
It's that same theme. Skill over brute force. Control over chaos. It shows where the twins got it from. It was modeled for them.
In his words then, you came to my home. You thought you'd bring fear into this house, but fear doesn't live here. Just shuts them down.
The Mallorys totally lose it then. Sandra's screaming, calling the police. He attacked us. But the source says her words lack conviction. Greg's just humiliated.
And this is crucial. Neighbors come out, they saw it. Some, the source says, watch with quiet satisfaction. They saw the Mallory start it.
That neighbor involvement shifts everything, doesn't it? Takes it from a he said, she said, to something with actual witnesses.
Absolutely. Officer Clean arrives, takes control calmly, doesn't just buy Sandra's story.
Derek gives his account. Claire, calm. Clean questions the Mallorys. But then the neighbors step up.
Multiple neighbors confirming Derek's story. Greg threw the first punch. Their accounts are consistent. It cuts right through the Mallorys' lies.
And Clean does its job properly. Gathers statements, looks for security footage, doorbell cams.
Finds the evidence. He tells Derek, "It's clear you didn't start the confrontation. It's also clear your actions were defensive. The footage proves the Mallorys were the aggressors."
And Clint connects the dots back to the school. A neighbor mentioned the trouble there, so he says he'll pull the school's footage too. Look for the pattern.
Derek wants that. Let the whole story come out. Expose the whole thing.
And the evidence is undeniable. The Mallorys are shown the footage, the statements. Their story just crumbles.
So Clean tells Derek charges against him and his daughters dropped. The evidence leaves no room for any other decision.
But it doesn't stop there. The Mallorys face charges: assault, harassment, trespassing, obstruction. Their actions at school and home are all documented now.
Heen's quote is telling. They won't be talking their way out of this, and the more they talk, the deeper they dig their own hole.
So with the police report confirming everything, naming Ryan, Zach, and Brent, Headmaster Harrington has to act.
No choice, really. He rescinds the twins' suspension immediately, and the bullies expelled permanently.
And Harrington actually admits, the school failed. Failed your family. Failed our duty. Promises change.
And the twins' response is just perfect. Jada, see that it does, firm, holding him to it.
And Janelle adds that crucial part, not just for us, for every student who doesn't fit your mold, making it bigger than just them.
The source then describes their return to school. The atmosphere is totally different.
Yeah, respect, maybe some shame from others, no more mocking, no avoidance, just nods of acknowledgement, a real shift.
They find some peace, sitting under that oak tree, peace built not on fear, but on strength earned through fire.
Derek's lesson, stand your ground, it resonates. The source says their fight shifted the school's very bones.
And their perspective changed, too. They didn't just get through it, they claimed it, wrote their own story, proved resilience can break down prejudice.
That final exchange in the source is so powerful. Derek says, the storm is over.
And Jada corrects him, quietly but fiercely. We ended it.
And Janelle's smile confirms it. And we'll end it again, whenever it comes, together, knowing they can face whatever's next, unbroken and unafraid.
Wow. What a narrative. It really takes you on that journey from being targets to being agents of change.
Absolutely. Driven by that preparation, family unity, and just refusing to back down when it mattered most.
So when you step back and look at this source, what are the big takeaways for you? I mean, standing your ground is obvious, but it's nuanced, isn't it?
It really is. It's about how you stand your ground. Controlled, strategic defense, not just anger. Preparation. Derek's training was key, mentally and physically.
And the idea that truth wins out, eventually, but it takes courage from the people targeted, doesn't it? And support from others, like the neighbors.
And diligence from authorities, like Officer Clean. It wasn't automatic.
Right. And the family strength is huge. Plus, it's a real indictment of institutions that fail to protect people. The school, initially.
Until they were forced to change. It shows accountability matters.
What really hits home for me is that idea of not just surviving, but actively dismantling the injustice. Stepping up, claiming your agency.
Exactly. Refusing to fit the victim narrative they tried to impose.
So it makes you think, doesn't it? How does the story resonate with you, listening? Where do you see situations that demand standing your ground, not just physically, but against bias, unfairness? What kind of strength does this story suggest is needed?
It highlights so many forms of courage. The twins' endurance, their decisive action, Derek's calm confrontations, even the neighbors speaking up. It's not just one thing.
And what about that silence? The other students, the teachers at first, the source makes that silence feel so heavy. What role does inaction play when you see something wrong?
A powerful question. That silence enabled the abuse for so long.
And then finally, just thinking about how these two young women, with their father's backing and their own preparation, managed to fundamentally change that school environment. What does that tell us about the power of individuals or a small group to really impact a whole system?
It suggests that immense courage, combined with preparation and a refusal to accept injustice, can indeed shift even deeply ingrained structures. It's a challenging but ultimately hopeful thought to end on.